Hi, welcome to Chaplains Chat. I'm Chaplain Larry Crabtree with the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office and the Maryland State Police.
And I'm Chaplain Charlie Wharton with the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office. And Larry, over the last several weeks, we've been talking about chaplains and who we are and what we do and kind of how we got to where we are. There may be somebody out there that is interested in starting a chaplain's program, whether it is a minister that would like to get into it or an agency maybe that would like to get a program started. Let's talk about the important components of getting one started. What do you think the number one skill or the number one component is?
Well, just a little while ago, you and I were talking about what probably the bare bone foundational requirement is. So why don't you share what we were talking about just a few minutes ago?
I think the number one requirement is it's got to be something that you want to do. Because as we've talked about this, one of the things that you'll notice that we talk about is a lot of time commitment and a lot of willingness to give up maybe some other aspects. Is this really what you want to do? And I think the only way to find that out is to start spending time doing some ride-alongs and looking into it and maybe talking to another chaplain or another program and getting the basic information that you need to have.
Yeah, I think this is a really good point. In fact, if the reason you want to become a chaplain is because you want to have a badge, then don't do this. So you got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and with realization that this is a serious, serious ministry commitment, and you have to be prepared for it. I agree 100%.
Once you do that and you've established that this is what you want to do, you and I come at it from two different perspectives. You were invited to play along, and I kind of horned my way into it. I think when we look at it, we need to find an agency that's willing to do it. And really the only way to do that is to sit down with the administration and say, is this something that you're interested in doing? Or go out and find maybe an agency that's advertising for them.
And I would say probably coming from your background too is it helps to have knowledgeable people behind you, like International Conference of Police Chaplains, because to try to build this thing on your own, I don't know how you do it. I mean, if this is new to you, you're going to need some help and some knowledge to get that accomplished. And so there are great agencies out there that actually have an awful lot to get you going and to move you in that right direction too.
And probably if you look in your region, wherever you're at, there are going to be some agencies that do have chaplain programs. Yeah. And if not, we know somebody that would be more than willing to visit with you about it. And whether you're in Southern Maryland or anywhere around the country, we're more than happy to help you out and maybe let you learn from some of our mistakes.
Yep. And again, something I think that's just pretty helpful you could do is make sure you're doing ride-alongs. You can do that before I think most agencies, any citizen can do a ride-along. And so you can actually spend some time already getting to see what it's like and because a ride-along is, you're going to do a lot of those. And so you'll get a taste of that's what a bulk of it's going to be as you build those relationships. So that's a practical thing.
You know, I think it's maybe tempting to want to be a part of, say, the Albuquerque Police Department that has a huge chaplain program, or maybe the Philadelphia Police Department or some of the others. But I think if I were starting this, I would probably go to one of the smaller agencies because you may have a bigger opportunity to make a bigger difference, at least in the beginning. And maybe look at agencies that don't typically have chaplains. A lot of your game and fish agencies may not have a chaplain program, or some of your regional police agencies, or some of those maybe that are just on the outside a little bit that may not have had the opportunity or the budget or whatever else to be able to have someone on staff.
Good advice. So Charlie, any other ideas, any other thoughts on helpful ways to get involved in a chaplaincy program?
I think once you get everything lined up and you are ready to go, jump in it with both feet. I'm not going to say be a pest, but be available. Be around. And in the beginning, you may sit in the break room by yourself for a lot of time. But that's okay. We've all been there. We've all wondered, why would anybody want to do this? But at some point, it's going to click. and you're going to start building those relationships. Don't give up. Get involved. Do everything that you can. Go pray at whatever meeting they want you to pray at. Go be involved in their award ceremonies. Do as many ride-alongs as you can, but in whatever way, be involved in that agency.
Yeah, all good advice. All good advice. Well, we hope these segments have been helpful, have been informative for both law enforcement and for perhaps people that are just trying to learn what a chaplain is and what a chaplain does. We're glad to be involved in this ministry and look forward, hopefully, to more in the years that are ahead. Well, until we come back again with some new tidbits to share, be strong
And be safe.